Have you ever wondered how some of history's most ruthless leaders amassed staggering fortunes while ruling with an iron fist? Today, we'll dive into the opulent lives of the richest dictators in history, revealing how they turned their countries into personal piggy banks and built unimaginable wealth. From secret bank accounts to luxurious palaces, these stories will leave you questioning the true cost of power. So, without further ado, let's begin. Number 1. Muammar Gaddafi, Libya's wealthy tyrant. Muammar Gaddafi ruled Libya for over 40 years, becoming one of the richest and most controversial leaders in history. Gaddafi's wealth was estimated to be around $200 billion at the time of his death in 2011. But how did he accumulate such a vast fortune? Gaddafi nationalized Libya's oil industry in the 1970s, giving him complete control over the country's most valuable resource. This move allowed him to divert billions of dollars into his personal accounts, hidden in secret bank vaults around the world. Gaddafi also invested in luxury properties across Europe and Africa, living in lavish palaces filled with gold, marble, and priceless art. Despite his wealth, Gaddafi portrayed himself as a humble man, often seen wearing simple clothing. However, behind this facade was a leader who enjoyed a lifestyle of excess and privilege. His family lived like royalty, with access to private jets, yachts, and extravagant vacations. Gaddafi's reign came to a violent end during the Arab Spring in 2011. After his death, much of his hidden wealth was discovered, though billions of dollars are still unaccounted for. Number 2. Ferdinand Marcos, the Philippines' infamous president. Ferdinand Marcos, the former president of the Philippines, is another example of a leader who amassed immense wealth while in power. Marcos ruled from 1965 to 1986, and during his time in office, he and his wife, Imelda, allegedly stole billions from the Philippine people. Marcos's wealth came from a combination of embezzlement, kickbacks, and the looting of the national treasury. He also had close ties with wealthy business people who provided him with substantial bribes in exchange for favorable government contracts. One of the most infamous aspects of Marcos's wealth was Imelda's extravagant lifestyle. Known for her love of shoes, Imelda Marcos owned over 3,000 pairs, along with numerous luxury properties, jewelry, and art collections. The Marcos family lived in opulent palaces filled with gold fixtures and priceless artifacts, all while the majority of the Philippine population lived in poverty. After a popular uprising in 1986, the Marcos family was forced into exile, leaving behind a country crippled by debt and economic instability. Although Ferdinand Marcos died in 1989, his legacy of corruption and greed continues to impact the Philippines to this day. The government has recovered some of the stolen assets, but much of the wealth remains unaccounted for. Number 3. Saddam Hussein, Iraq's wealthy dictator. Saddam Hussein, the former president of Iraq, was one of the most feared leaders of the 20th century. But he wasn't just powerful, he was also incredibly wealthy. Saddam's fortune was estimated to be around $2 billion, though some experts believe it could have been much higher. Saddam's wealth came from a combination of oil revenue, corruption, and extortion. He controlled Iraq's oil industry, funneling billions of dollars into his personal accounts. Saddam also received kickbacks from international companies doing business in Iraq, adding to his wealth. Saddam's opulence was evident in his many palaces, which were filled with gold, marble, and luxury items from around the world. He owned a fleet of luxury cars, private jets, and yachts. Despite his lavish lifestyle, Saddam ruled with an iron fist, using his wealth to maintain control over Iraq and its people. Saddam's reign came to an end in 2003 when the United States led an invasion of Iraq. After his capture, Saddam was tried and executed for his crimes. Much of his wealth was seized by the Iraqi government, though some of it remains unaccounted for. Number 4. Mobutu Sese Seko, the wealthy leader of Zaire. Mobutu Sese Seko ruled Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, from 1965 to 1997, amassing a fortune estimated between $4 billion and $15 billion. He exploited Zaire's vast natural resources, diamonds, gold, and copper, by nationalizing industries and diverting profits into personal accounts. Foreign aid meant to help the country often funded his extravagant lifestyle instead. Mobutu built a luxurious palace in his hometown, Gbadolite, dubbed the Versailles of the Jungle, featuring marble floors, gold-plated fixtures, and a private zoo. He also owned private jets and luxury cars, regularly hosting lavish parties for foreign dignitaries. Despite his wealth, Zaire suffered from extreme poverty, corruption, and economic decline under his rule. Mobutu's regime collapsed in 1997, forcing him into exile. He died shortly after, with much of his hidden wealth still unaccounted for, leaving the Congolese people to bear the economic scars of his corrupt leadership. Number 5. Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un, the wealthy rulers of North Korea. Kim Jong-il and his son, Kim Jong-un, have amassed substantial wealth while ruling one of the world's most isolated and impoverished countries, North Korea. The Kim family's fortune, believed to be in the billions, comes from state-controlled industries, illicit activities like drug trafficking and arms sales, and exploiting the nation's natural resources. They also gain significant foreign currency through government-operated businesses, including luxury goods stores and restaurants. Despite widespread poverty in North Korea, the Kim family lives in opulence, owning numerous palaces, luxury cars, private jets, and yachts. They are known for indulging in fine food and expensive alcohol, often importing rare delicacies from around the world. This wealth allows the Kim dynasty to maintain a tight grip on power, funding the military and suppressing opposition. Despite international sanctions, the Kims continue to live lavishly, showing no intention of relinquishing their wealth or power. Number 6. Joseph Stalin, the wealthy leader of the Soviet Union. Joseph Stalin, the former leader of the Soviet Union, is another dictator who accumulated vast wealth during his time in power. Although the exact amount of Stalin's wealth is unknown, it is believed that he controlled billions of dollars in assets. Stalin's wealth came from his control over the Soviet Union's economy, including its vast natural resources and state-owned industries. He used his power to accumulate personal wealth, often diverting funds from the state treasury into his accounts. Stalin also lived in luxury, with numerous palaces, luxury cars, and a personal army at his disposal. Despite his wealth, Stalin was known for his brutal policies, including the forced collectivization of agriculture, which led to widespread famine and the deaths of millions of people. He also used his wealth to fund his secret police, who carried out purges and assassinations to eliminate any opposition. Stalin's rule came to an end with his death in 1953. Although he is remembered as one of history's most ruthless dictators, his wealth and power allowed him to maintain control over the Soviet Union for decades. The legacy of his rule continues to impact Russia and the former Soviet states to this day. The stories of these wealthy dictators serve as a chilling reminder of how absolute power can corrupt absolutely. These leaders used their positions not only to control their countries, but to amass unimaginable wealth, often at the expense of their people. While some of their fortunes have been recovered, much of it remains hidden, a testament to the enduring legacy of corruption and greed. If you found this exploration intriguing, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures. Thanks for watching.